Right, and we are live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Val's not going to be with us this week. He is sick as a dog, but that's okay. It's the last month, or it's the last Friday of the month. That means it's open season. I'm going to continue where we left off. This is session 8 of Dithra the Wild North. I guess I'll start with a recap for the audience and for the players, because it's been a while. It's been a couple months since we run this thing. So let's go to the world map and we will kind of trace our steps backwards. The party, having left the forward camp just north of the mountains here, the Maw of Malcantor, took a quest to meet up with the Mammoth clan to try to establish a trade agreement with the Ford camp. The Ford camp is a frontier camp. It is a neutral party in these lands. Hundreds of knaves and refugees coming in from the south, where they joined a caravan to get here. In addition, from leading the Ford camp, they were leaving to warn the Mammoth clan because a sizable military faction. Does anyone remember the name? It's inspiration.
Might have notes here.
You got to dig deep into the archives.
Yes, I have no.
Is it the Iron Oath?
No.
The Crusader of the Faithful Shard?
That's it. So a battalion, the Crusaders of the Faithful Shard, showed up into the Ford camp, guns blazing, let's say, a military outfit, armed to the teeth, and having the sigil of their house. They are a religious military order from the Western Kingdom, having stirred up a little bit of chaos. They headed north in force. But before then, our merry band of adventurers decided to leave a day ahead to try to beat them, to warn the Mammoth clan. They're not sure of their intent, but a foreign military presence in these lands probably aren't up to any good, especially considering the reputation. Having harrowed the wilderness over the last, I think 12 days, they made it, or it took 7 days to get to the Mammoth clan camp. When they arrived, they were met with some hostility, but their guide, Tuya, one of the mercenaries from the Ebon Hawk, was able to smooth things over, where they met Greta for the first time. Greta, a bit wary of the group, but nevertheless welcoming, joined the party as they rested there. And they talked to a variety of different NPCs, one of which was a woman of high rank. Anyone remember her name? It's for inspiration. Start stacking them up.
Let's see. It wasn't Zuwinya, was it?
No, that's Val's character.
Okay. Well, because there's two Z's. You got Zuwinya and Zarina.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zarina, who I'll just pop up here.
You might be on DM layer.
I see it.
No, it's a handout.
Arena.
If you're looking through OBS, there's a delay. Jay, I noticed. I don't know if it's a recent update. It did it last session. Okay. Zarina, who is a scholar and an explorer of I guess incredible capacity. She apparently spoke 2 or 3 languages, Southern and whatnot. She told you guys of kind of what they were doing there. She welcomed you despite the grisly looks from the rest of the clan. And having warned the Mammoth clan, at least this hunting party, this was not the full clan themselves, warning them of the invading foreigners, they thanked you. They packed up camp and they headed northeast. But before they went, Zarina asked a favor of you. She said, head west. Please find a hunting party and look for Huntsman Atka. And I'll put that. He and his party, and warned them that they're heading northeast to their capital to flee from this western threat. After having gone deeper into the forest of the ancients to track these people down, led by Bast, the survivalist, who's not very familiar with these parts, having being from the south, you guys eventually stumbled upon their camp. You see the white smoke of a recently put out campfire, and as you approach, you realize it's been abandoned, but their belongings and the animals are there. As you wait patiently, looking through to see if there were any signs of struggle, you suddenly hear cries in the distance, and you guys immediately spring into action. As you go down the hill, you see people screaming down into a massive crevasse where apparently 2 people have fallen in. The rest of you, quick on your feet, having pulled one of the yaks and some rope, go to pull a man his legs are bent backwards and he's unconscious. It's Atka, and you save him. But as you try to save him and pull him out, tethered to the back of this ox and the rope, the crevasse's walls cave in and crush one of the other party members who are trapped down there. And that's basically where we left off. You guys, out of breath, bitterly cold, lying in the snow, Atka, unconscious body broken in several different ways, and the man known as Nanuk has perished deep into the depths of that crevasse, never to be seen again. And yeah, and here we are. So after those events, you guys are kind of recovering yourselves. You're breathing heavily, and you see 3 people left in the party. They look to you, a bit wary but thankful. The first person who stands out to you is a jolly-looking man with hair the color of wheat and a giant white smile. He stands about 6'3", and he wears brigandine armor with a boar's hide thrown over his shoulder and a spear on his back. And he calls out in the trade language, it's like, friends, thank God you arrived. Who the hell are you? And why are you way out here in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah, I mean, we arrived in time to at least help one, but looks like you got a friend that didn't exactly survive this whole thing. We were sent here to find you. We had some information to bring to your attention. Your tribe's moving northeast back to their homeland from the hunting grounds because of a crusader party that's on their way through. We were sent to bring you the message.
The man quirks an eyebrow and says, my clan. Okay. He looks over to a woman here. She's got fierce eyes, and she wears furs, and her head is wrapped in leather. She too also has a spear, and she looks distrusting to you all and says something in Northern. You don't quite understand it, but Lars, he calls back to her, and they begin kind of arguing. You're not sure what, but Lars, he smiles again, clearly trying to smooth things over, and he's like, Crusaders. Okay. How many men?
100? Maybe more?
Military men?
Basically.
In full gear, yeah.
Full regalia.
Riding horses. Actually, that's just the advanced party, the 100 men. We don't know what's coming.
But we know they left out a day ago. We left a day early trying to beat them here.
Hmm.
We talked to Zarina. She's the let her know the gave her all of the information, and she's the one that asked us to come find y'all. We know you're the honey. We're a hunting party. Said
As
you
soon
know
as
where
you
to go.
mention, as soon as you mention the name Zarina, both women in the background glance at each other knowingly for a second. This woman here, she's laying over the body of Atka, kind of stroking his brow softly. And gets up and presses forward. She says something to Lars in Northern. Greta, you would understand it. And like, well, what should we do? We can't leave Atka here. We have to get some help. Lars says, look, you guys hired me. I intend to get paid. Unless you have the hides and the coin, I'm heading back to the Mammoth Clan capital, which I don't have a capital name. So if you guys want to name one on the spot, give me some ideas. This is a proper city, although they're mostly nomads. This place is of significance, religious, familial. It has the burial grounds for a lot of their soldiers and a lot of their rights, but it is a proper city. So throw me some names. But Lars says, I intend to head back to that place. Huntsmaster Subotai promised me pelts. I have not received them. So whatever you guys do, so be it. Tosi hits him in the back of the head, and she says, look, you're not going to survive out there by yourself. The three of us, that's 3 weeks journey if we're lucky. We need to get Atka some help. Kaga agrees. She nods and grunts curtly. She goes to see Atka as well. This man, he's balding at the temples, but he's got a stern look, but he is passed out and he looks rough. Lars, he lets out a heavy sigh and says, okay, well, what do you guys think we should do? You know these lands. Is there any help that we can get? I'm no medicine man. You guys happen to be healers?
We're not. I mean, all we know is probably not smart to head south, because that's just gonna run you right back into this marching army.
More of the reason we should head north. But Tosi is right. It's a long way to go, and we don't have much supply. So what do you say? You think we can skirt around this army?
And yeah, he kind of look back over to Liam. What do you guys think?
I wouldn't take that risk. They'd kill them just for sport.
Greta?
I
think it's just getting moving. What do you think?
It's good to know if there's like any smaller encampments or that along the way to the capital.
That's a good question. Let me pull us to the map.
Yeah. And what's our objective after this? We're supposed to bring Atka back to the main group?
Yeah, Zarina told you basically like, hey, go and warn them and get them to safety. But yeah, at some point you will have to get them to the main group. She said that if that's done, she can set up a trade route with the forward camp like you guys asked. Because
Okay.
Kaga is her sister. It's her younger sister.
Okay. So if we bring her back to the capital, that concludes the mission, right?
Yes. However, it is quite far.
And otherwise we would go
3 weeks travel on foot, assuming all things go well.
Where else can we bring her?
Well, The forward camp, of course, is an option. But to your point, Greta, you could push further west and try it there. It's a little bit closer, but not by much, to Thalwind, which is a major capital. But beyond that, the Man with the Clan's your family. That hunting party is the furthest one west. So you're not sure where any would be. You do know that there is a potential hunting party kind of in this area, but that's a guess at best, and you're not sure if these people have been warned as well. It's very possible that they were warned and everyone to collect back in the capital. Not a lot of options, really. You guys, it's up to you, but yeah, you don't have any connections in this area. Every single connection you had left a few days ago.
And their main, like their city is up somewhere up. What was this, the one that's up on the ice lake? Up way up?
No, this one
Okay.
here.
This one. Okay,
Oops.
got it.
It ran
Okay.
away.
Oh god, I'm breaking it. There we go.
Okay. And we do know about the tin mine, correct?
Bolad. Let me write that. Yes, the tin mine was one of the markers on your map.
Yep.
And then you know of this river and the cave. That was kind of secondary quests you were given. You would get paid for information on natural resources and points of interest in the area by
Yep.
Jefferson Anders.
I mean, I don't necessarily think heading back down to the pass to get to the forward camp's gonna skirt us around, but
You
We
do
do
know
know-
of this cache here. You're not sure what's there. Hopefully
Right.
supplies.
I mean, we could take we have a couple of places east to get back towards home to get to. We know of that cash supply on the map. Are you still carrying the map with you, right, Liam?
Mm-hmm.
There's that cash supply straight east of here. Otherwise, there's that tin mine if we want to try and stay ahead of this army. Try and get up
Well-
there, then scoot around.
Well, Tosi will say, look, guys, I don't know what you want to do, but Atka is dying. If we try to travel with him in this condition, he will certainly be dead. I don't know. We have to find some help.
Well, I mean, the closest help to where we're at right now is trying to go back through the pass, but we run into
That's still a couple days.
we run into those crusaders. I don't know what they're gonna do to you guys with being northerners like that. Like, they definitely don't take kindly to me, Greta. I don't know what kind of response truly they had with you. I mean, you're one of them, not one of the crusaders, but at least one of the you're from the west. You'd be the only one that might be able to talk sense into them if we wanted to try that. Isn't it? I thought Liam was a westerner.
Liam
said
is.
Greta.
You said
I am.
Greta.
Yeah.
I was like, what? No.
Well,
Downside to online, I'm looking at Windows.
you're good. So you do know that the army was dispatched in this direction.
Uh-huh.
Odds are, if you're probably not going to Graz Pass. You guys headed west
Yeah.
for multiple days here,
Okay.
Yeah, it's
And
unlikely.
and actually, you've been traveling. Odds are they've already gotten here. You're only a day ahead, but you guys spent about 4 or 5 days trying to find this
The
hunting
party?
Yeah.
party.
Okay.
Hmm.
Maybe our best bet is to get back to the forward camp, get some help. Be willing to bet maybe that army's they were heading northeast, so maybe they're out far enough now with time it's taken us that we can slip back in behind them into the forward camp and get Akka some help.
Yeah. It's the only chance this man has. Either way, we have to take it.
Lars clicks his teeth. It's like, God damn it, I'm not going to get paid for this shit. All right. Well, we better find some shelter. Let's head back to camp. freezing my ass off, and I could use a bowl of food. Also, he looks up to the sky and he's like, weather looks like it's going to get pretty choppy here in a little bit. Let's go. And he gathers his things, he shoulders his pack, and he trudges through the snow back to the camp, which is maybe half a mile away. The rest follow. He leaves the body. He doesn't care. Leaving Kaga and Tosi, who are fairly small, to try to deal with them.
I'm going to attempt.
That's going to try to help carry him as well.
Oh, Lars, Liam is right on that.
I'm going to attempt to make, with the rope that we were using to pull them out of the chasm, I'm going to attempt to make like a basket sling to at least be able to have the oxen try to use its strength to pull him through the top of the snow. Take off like the cloak or whatever I'm wearing to set up underneath it like a basket to get it to ride almost like a sled.
Yeah, that would work.
We'll have to build something better though, but that's nice. That's good for now.
I'm just trying to make it so he doesn't just bury in the snow or have people walking at quarter speed carrying this dude. Something that's gonna get us moving quicker and let the oxen do the work.
It works. You're able to do that pretty easily. But as you do, he stirs and he's in pain. He's a bit delirious as you guys move his body, and he's groaning and he's retching. But eventually he passes out as you guys make it back to camp. Camp, again, it's pretty Spartan, all things considered. It's just a few tents. There are a couple other animals that they left behind. But there is one creature as you approach that stands that you did not see when you first checked, and its eyes are glistening golden. And it's the large outline of a wolf.
Ooh.
Crouch is just like that survival instinct to try to get low, get to its somewhat of its level. Just kind of stare to see what it's gonna do.
What are the rest of you guys doing?
See what the other people do.
What are you doing, Liam?
Liam's not sure, but he's definitely gonna reach for his axe and shield and get ready and stand his ground and tell everyone else to stay behind him.
As you do that and you guys make preparations, you see Kaga moving, not paying attention really, just kind of moving towards it. And as she gets closer and closer, she touches the wolf with a familiarity, and she looks back at you guys just holding your weapons like, what the fuck is this? Just on guard. And it seems friendly. It pulls its head against her and pads softly in the snow back to the camp near the glowing embers. And she smiles and she says, it's fine. It's Kota. It's Atka's warg.
You crazy northerners.
Hey.
Greta, you would know warg. There's warg riders, which are they hold a high position. Very few people have the ability to train or ride these things, but the ones that do are generally like a huntsman or a hunts leader. Atka being one, and this is his creature or his companion. As you guys drag his body up into the camp, the wolf seems undisturbed by it. It's not crying or emotional, but it is licking at its wounds. This thing is massive. Its head is the size of your chest, basically. I would say it stands from foot to head, I don't know, 5 feet tall and maybe 8 feet long. It's huge. This thing is gray with white from its nose up down its forehead, and it's seen battle. Its paws and its haunches have deep scars where that are furless. But it seems pretty docile, looking at this thing and licking at his wounds incessantly as he just kind of lays there passed out. And you see Lars, he comes from the edge and he starts piling up some wood. He's like, let's get a fucking fire started. My ass is freezing.
I'll go help him. I'll start, rounding up whatever I can gather and can find and try and stoke this fire and get it as big as possible. Not as big as possible, but
let's make a huge bonfire, blow this place up. I'll try to find a place for the wounded to be comfortable, get him situated. I don't know. I don't have any formal training with wounds, but I imagine like he's done a little bit of like caring for wounded, so Liam will do what he can.
Yeah. Make an intelligence check at disadvantage. You've helped out here and there, but yeah, you're definitely not trained. 14.
Oh, it's 14. Not terrible.
The ads, got to get the ad blocker going. We don't pay premium around here. That's all right, guys.
We're gaming on a budget.
Yeah, balling on a budget. You tend to kind of the surface level wounds. He's got a couple of scrapes and cuts and that, but his bones are broken. And when you go to touch them to kind of assess them, he's grinding his teeth in pain, and you kind of pull back. But you do clean up most of the wounds, treat them so they don't get infected, but without any kind of medication or sedatives or salves or anything, he's in pain. He's kind of in and out of consciousness.
Well, that's what I can do for now. Sorry.
Greta, Tosi, she comes to you. She's got her bow kind of slung over her shoulder, and she walks towards you. You're familiar with these two. I'd imagine you guys are friends, or at the very least acquaintances. But Tosi, she does seem familiar. And she smiles and says very lowly, shoulder against your shoulder, and is like, what is this? Who are these men?
They came to camp. They want to set up some sort of trade agreement with whoever sent them and the Mammoth clan. I volunteered to come with them so they could find you. You know your sister, or you know Kaga's sister's worried about her. But that's about as much as I know. I don't know exactly what the terms are. They seem okay.
I don't trust the foreigners. She looks at them, especially him, and she nods towards Liam. The feeling of the Western kingdoms in the north, especially recently, hasn't been good. There's always been tensions. The two nations kind of border each other, separated by a bit of water. But they've been encroaching on the land for a long time. Thalwyn to the west is a huge western capital city. And Camber, where you guys originally came from, it's a little bit more neutral, but it's also a western outpost. And yeah, she doesn't trust. And she's like, if what you say is true, I sure hope for our sake this isn't a trap. I don't know if I trust people so easily, but if Zarina does, I guess we can try. Okay.
Right now we outmatched them, so take that as you will.
She grins. She's like, yeah, I don't know about Lars, though. I don't know if I can trust him either.
I wouldn't trust him as far as I can throw him.
Yeah, which isn't very far, that big oaf. And she just starts laughing. Lars, he's got the cook pot rolled out, and he's getting to business. Looks like it's just some old food that they had there. He's starting to warm it up. The big cauldron begins to bubble lowly as the fire rages. And Lars gets out a bowl and scoops it and walks over to you, Liam. And he hands it to you. He's like, are you from the west then?
Well, originally, as you can tell from the blonde hair, it's kind of hard to hide it here. It's been a while though since I've seen the homeland.
Hmm.
What about you? Strange to see a fellow like you here.
I was born here.
Oh, now that's a story.
He grins a big wide grin, white teeth. Not much to tell. My family, they're missionaries. They came out here, and I'm third generation, but I'm northern, born and bred. I know these lands. I've never been to the Western Kingdom, despite my look. That's why I was curious. Do you have any stories to tell of that place? I hear that they have giant cities made of stone. Is that true?
Oof. I could tell you of the beauty of the sunrise and the sunset over the skyrise of the cities, of the buildings so tall that they cast shade for miles. I could tell you of cities so wide that you get lost in the streets like labyrinths. I could also tell you of the corruption of men who have made the place feel dark and dirty. It is home, but doesn't always felt like it. It didn't always feel like it. It's a place where I tried to do good, but caught up to me, and here I am.
So here you are. He lets out a low whistle as he presses the warm bowl of food into your hands, and he's like, "That does sound pretty awful. But what about the women?" And he, he smiles. He didn't tell me of the women.
Well, Liam smiles and he says, well, I'm a man of the cloth, so I didn't have much time for that, but the dresses, oof. If you could see them in the summer, the dances, they're quite something. They can make a man weak in the knee.
I can drink to that. And he uncorks a wineskin from his belt and he takes a big swig and hands it to you.
Much obliged.
And then he goes back to the fire and he starts tossing out bowls. He's a big lumbering oaf of a man, but he's pretty jolly. And despite having no allegiance to Atka and the crew, he is generally well liked. As you guys kind of sit around the fire, you find out a little bit about them. Haga, she's a butcher. She was sent to go find the saber-tooth out here. That's what their hunting party is for. And what's important about that is that the saber-tooth has these glands, like pheromone glands, that they harvest, and they use it to control the herds of the mammoths. They can control them by basically putting the pheromones and marking areas they don't want them to pass, because predator. Bakaga, she's the younger sister of Zarina. They are the polar opposite as far as temperament. Kaga is short-tempered and a little naive, whereas her sister is a little bit more patient and worldly. And Tosi, Greta, you know her. You guys are childhood friends. Grew up together. She's an alchemist by trade. She's the one who can synthesize that stuff. She's brilliant. And if she was born in a different part of the world, she could be one of the best minds. But unfortunately, she lives in this backwoods of a forest, so she does what she can. But that's the little crew. And they ask about you, Bast. You see Kaga, she kind of hesitates to ask. She's like, I've never seen a man with dark skin like yours.
Yes, I never thought I'd find my way to the north. Was taken away from my home and brought here. Found my way out of the situation and somehow ended up at that forward camp that we're going to be setting out to. So now I'm just here trying to find my way, trying to make some coin, trying to find a way to get back home.
And that's far to the south. What's that place like? I hear it's right next to the sun. Is that true?
Well, the sun's sun distance, when you stand and look at it, doesn't look like it's any different, but yeah, I guess you could say it's close to the sun. I mean, I've never worn so many clothes in my life. This place is freezing constantly. Back home, the beaches, the warm water, the surf. There's nothing like it. Unless you get into a sandstorm, but...
A sandstorm.
Kind of like a... What do you call it up here? And he tries to say it in Northern and probably fails miserably, but a blizzard? Like sideways snow, same idea, just sand.
Huh. And it comes out of this clouds?
Yeah, it gets picked up off the ground. Isn't that what happens with all the white stuff here? You're saying it comes from...
It does both. Yeah, the wind picks it up. So there's sand everywhere. Huh.
There's some
Okay.
green. You get close to the water, close to the rivers. Palms, you get nice, tall palm trees. Some luscious
my-
green grass.
My sisters told me of such a place, but I didn't believe it. That is remarkable. She talked about all the people with their dark skin, that they could absorb the power of the sun. I didn't believe it until I saw you. Well, maybe she is smarter than I am after all. But after some banter, you guys get to know each other a little bit. You head to sleep. On the next morning, you guys plan to venture out. And so let's start talking about some travel mechanics. This is new. So give me a second and pull up the rules, and I will walk you guys through this. I do want to give a shout out to Uncharted Journeys. This is not my system that I took and hacked for Knave. But nonetheless, we will go through it together. All right.
And I was just gonna compliment you on it, John.
Oh no.
Glad you
Hey,
said
I
it.
ain't that clever. Work smarter, not harder. If I can throw money at the problem, I will. All right. So, travel happens in 3 stages. The first stage is to set the route. The second stage... I have it here. Do you guys have the rules in front of you? If not,
Yep,
I
I
just
do.
pull them
Yep.
up. Cool.
Yep.
All right.
I know my role.
Good. Probably pretty straightforward. All right. So, set the route is the first part, then preparations, and then the last one is the journey itself. So, we're going to start stage 1, set the route. So, we're looking at the map here. You guys said you want to go to the Ford camp. Are we doing a
Yep.
straight shot?
Heck yeah.
Cool. All right. So, straight shot
I was it.
is 5 hexes. So this is going to be considered a short journey, 2 to 5 hexes. Next part is the journey difficulty. Based on the current weather and the terrain. Current weather, there's going to be occasional bouts of rain, snow, or wind. And you guys are in a dense forest with steep hills. So the DC for this journey is going to be a 19.
Okay.
Not easy, but it is short.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we've set the course, now we need to determine, we're going to prepare. So stage 2 is prepare. We need to assign roles. We got 4 roles here. We've got the sentry. I have a quick little handout for you guys. A quartermaster, an outrider, and the leader. And I can give you guys kind of a breakdown of what each one is. So the leader's primary goal is to keep up party morale and lead their allies to safety. Typically, a leader aids the aids their fellow party members in pushing past harrowing obstacles, keeping spirits high on the road, and resolving tense interactions with other travelers. They have an ability that you can see there. I won't get into that quite yet. The next role is the Outrider. An Outrider's goal is to find the path through dangerous terrain, lead the party to safety. The Outrider watches for signs of nearby movement, assessing any threats based on perceived evidence, and spotting other travelers along the road before they notice the party. Next role is the Quartermaster. The Quartermaster ensures that the party is well-fed, well-equipped, and well-prepped for the road ahead. Having enough supplies and equipment to complete the journey is crucial, and having the right tools to deal with any complications can be the difference between expeditions grinding to a halt and overcoming minor setbacks. And then the last role is the Sentry. The Sentry acts as the lookout for the party. They cover the party's trail and watch for pursuit and ambushes. A Sentry's senses are always on the world around them, keeping an eye open for danger and staying in the shadows to turn tables on those who would sneak up on the party. So that's the 4. You guys can look at the abilities. They've got one role ability, which you can use once. Well, it depends. Each one's different. The role ability is going to give you some special abilities that you can use during the travel. So decide who you guys want to do now. Since there's 3 of you, you can assign one of the NPCs to the leftover one as well.
Well, Zuena is here technically, right?
Technically, she came with us, but
Yeah. Zuenia's also missed like 4 of the 8 sessions, so I don't.
Well,
Let me put her in the part. I don't even know what role she is. Let me find her.
yeah, I actually don't know. Anyway, I was thinking of being the Quartermaster.
she's been sitting in somebody's pocket the entire time.
Yeah, no kidding.
So you were thinking Quartermaster?
Yeah, I have high strength.
Yep.
So I think I would be best there.
I was gonna say for me, I was either gonna say Outrider or Sentry, but in my opinion, in my head, because it's an area that I probably don't know that well, I was gonna say Sentry. Unless somebody has a problem with that.
Okay. And what about you, Greta? That leaves the Outrider, and that leaves the Leader.
Leader.
Can you pop up the leader again? It didn't pull up the
It's,
text for me.
Yeah, there's if you go in the
those-
journal,
it's-
they're there.
It's
for
empty.
You
You
guys.
have to.
It's just
have it
blank?
in the- Yeah.
Oh, I see. Give me a second.
But it's
It's like, I
charisma
don't know.
and wisdom based.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
Let's see what she is. Yeah, she could do
Try it.
the leader. She's got decent wisdom and charisma.
Yeah, wisdom and
Yes.
charisma, either one is good. Okay, and then that leaves the Outrider. Let me put Greta. We can assign somebody here. Give me a second. We got NPCs. That can
I
do
mean,
the
if
job.
well, Lars probably doesn't want to do it.
Well,
but
he's
if he was
traveling. He
hired-
wants to survive.
Well, so that my
Yeah,
thought was if he was hired to like take them on this hunt, then he would know the area and be familiar with it, like that he might be the one to be the Outrider.
Yep, he's a survivalist as well. Makes sense to me. So this is the lineup. Cool.
That
All
works.
right.
All right. So stage 2. So okay, we've assigned the roles. Now we're going to make preparations. So once the roles are assigned, each character may attempt one preparation for this journey. A character can choose to make one additional prep, but you skip the rest step. And I don't have it in here, but you, by doing that, you're going to gain a level of exhaustion. Exhaustion, I don't have rules set up for it, but it is different than 5e exhaustion rules. Exhaustion takes 1 week of rest, and it's got to be in a safe haven. And exhaustion is -1 to all checks, basically, and that can stack until you die.
Yeah.
I'll have to get that set up in the rules, but that's so you can make one preparation. There's the list in the rules. I don't have one. I don't have a handout. And Kathleen, if you go into the Discord, we've got it there.
Yeah, I'm reading it.
Yeah. I was gonna consult the occult since I'm the only cleric here.
Sweet.
So do you want me to make an intelligence or charisma check?
Yes, go ahead and do that now. So as you go ahead and
Charisma.
yeah. 13.
13.
Make a nope. Yours, fortunately not. It does not succeed. The journey before you is harrowing. You know that you guys have almost died multiple times, and as you try to go into your mind palace and consult your gods, you find that you are a bit hesitant in your faith.
I cannot read the signs.
Because I'm imagining that there's like no supplies here. That was my first thought, but I want to try and study the weather and see if there's anything that would make this journey appear harder, or if there's some weather that we need to be worried about. So I want to study the weather. So
cool.
It's
and you guys can use
wisdom
inspiration
check?
on these. Yep,
Yeah,
intelligence or wisdom.
And yeah, I'm gonna have used one of my 2 inspirations on this one.
All right.
1, 2,
Nice.
24.
24 does it. DC's 19. So you survey the state of nature around you and do your best to forecast the weather. You do see that there is potential for rain and snow, but you notice that with the wind, if you guys move quickly and kind of at an angle, you'll be able to avoid the worst of it. The journey difficulty is now reduced by 2. So
Yay.
DC is 17. All right, Kathleen. These happen at the end, so it's still 19 for this particular step.
Meet
Yep.
Asana.
Yep,
a work
yep,
management
yep, yep.
platform that helps companies get-
So I'm going, or Greta is going to, where did it go? She's gonna seek advice from Toshi and Kaga.
Okay.
Or Toshi.
Yeah, you guys sit down. Familiar. You guys are from the same clan. Go ahead and do wisdom or charisma check.
Same. So bad.
The 3 of you sit there. They're like,
We're
I don't
screwed.
fucking
We
know.
don't
Yeah,
know.
we've never.
You
First
guys
they're
are
like
fucked.
Yeah, they're like, we've never been this far west. Usually the Mammoth clan isn't in the Forest of the Ancients. They're like, we have no idea. We've never been that close to the mountains. Okay, so that resolves. Does anyone want to make an additional preparation at the cost
Real
of...
quick. So for
Yes.
some of these preparations,
Yeah.
do they require us to be in a city and stuff? Because most of the merchant ones feel like we would need to be in a city.
Some of them, yes. It would only if it's available. But yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Okay, so we've made preparations.
Yep. That's about all we can do, I think, in the area we are.
I can't risk exhaustion right now.
Yeah, you're in a rough way right now.
Not before we start. That'd be crazy.
Okay, stage 3 is make the journey. So encounters represent the challenges, situations that you guys have to go. Since this is a 2 to 5 hex, there is one encounter. That's the base encounter. Now we need to travel. During the travel, you guys must make a travel check. This is kind of the overland travel. The DC for this check is the journey difficulty, which thankfully has been reduced to 17. And now you guys in your role, if you go to your role, you're going to have some group travel check stuff.
Yep.
Any of those are valid, whichever makes the most sense for your character. I shouldn't say any. Some of them are situational, but most of them are valid. And let's start making checks. Now, keep in mind your roll ability can affect these. Some of them are like re-roll. Some of them do additional things. So make sure you understand what your roll ability does first. I need to use Outriders since I'll be playing Lars. And
All right, I'm gonna share the load of everybody.
what's that
So I'm
do?
gonna make a strength check. It's gonna allow everyone to excel at their own tasks
Sweet.
by carrying some of everybody's gear.
Liam,
Strength check, and I fucking miss it by 1.
just
Can
one.
Can I give him a focus die as he starts to grab hold of all of the gear and really let him focus in?
Yeah, I could use a supply die.
Yeah, you
Also,
guys
I
have.
have those.
I think the leader can make you re-roll. So yeah, whatever you guys want to do.
I have 3 supply die. I'll just use 1.
Cool.
So it adds what, like a D6, I think.
Yes.
So I automatically make it.
You automatically get it. You expend your die. That is 1 success.
So
Alright.
I'm like carrying everybody's gear, and I'm a little tired, so I have a granola bar.
Yeah, exactly. He's like slams some coffee and some blackjacks. Yeah, you are carrying their load.
What you
yeah,
put in your trunk?
Yeah, I imagine you're slinging multiple bags over your shoulder. Your pockets are filled with everything you can, and you're dragging. You look like me when I go grocery shopping because I'm not a 2-trip bitch, which has got me.
I
in
imagine
trouble
like
too.
that dad that goes shopping, carries the kid, the bags, fucking everything. So I'm not going back there.
Never.
1 trip.
Cool. All right. So we have 1 success for the party. Who's next?
I'm gonna do, just as we are departing this area, I'm gonna do first watch. So as we embark, I'm keeping a keen eye out for dangers that might be lurking in the road ahead of us.
Nice.
So it's a wisdom check, and then it's not gonna matter, no matter, even if I don't, even with my
so
focus.
I can use a reaction to allow you to re-roll a failed ability check.
Awesome.
The leader says, "Get your shit together." Nice.
Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? Smack!
Hell yeah. 2 successes. Yeah, get your shit together. All right. Next one will be Lars. He is going to here. What's Lars' stat block? First of all, probably would help. What's he good at? Wisdom. Do we got a wisdom check in here? We do.
Blaze the
He's
trail.
gonna he's blazing the trail. Lars is going to get on one of the riding horses that they have. He spurs it into action and he blazes a trail ahead. He's going to try to navigate this place since he is familiar, and he's going to make a wisdom check.
And I'm gonna, as he does it, I tell him to, hey, focus up. If we're gonna make this work, make this work. And so I'll use my one of my focus dice on him, which is a D6.
All right, let's see it. He needs a 3 or better.
Ooh.
Lars,
Can we use multiple die? Like, could I use a supply die on top of his?
I think so. Let me read supply die, but I'm pretty sure. I don't think it's a one and done. But let's see.
It says at any time. You didn't say if they stack, or that's really up to you.
You gain any number of supply die equal to half your level, rounded down to max the supply anytime throughout the journey. Yeah, this is through the journey.
All right, I'll burn
Do
another
another
one. I have 1 left. That's okay. He gets the one he needs.
He gets the one he needs. So that's 3 successes and the leader. Let's do it.
All right. I'm gonna do the outward confidence, a charisma check, and see if I inspire everyone. No, I suck today.
Ooh.
I don't think anyone's going to save that
no,
one.
I don't think we
can't.
can.
You can't roll like that one.
No.
Okay, so we have 3
I'm
out of
nervous
4.
as fuck about leading.
Yeah, that's first time leading is difficult. You're unsure and you're not as confident as you'd like. Okay, so now the group travel check is done. the outcome is that half or more of the party succeeds, or more than half the party succeeds. So it's base encounters plus 0. Since the whole party did not succeed, which would have given a -1, minimum of 1, here we are. Good thing it didn't add to it. So, all right, now for the fun shit. Encounters. The DM will roll a 1d12 to determine the encounter type, and then a d10 to determine the scenario based on the region. So we're going to do a d12. Now, Lars, as the outrider, he gets the special ability to basically roll 2d12, and he gets to choose. Actually, I'm going to leave it to you guys because I can't metagame. He gets to choose the type of encounter. You don't know the specifics, but I'll tell you the 2 types. Right. Okay, so 7 is a monster hunt, and a 4 is needing assistance. I'm going to roll randomly for who gets to make the choice. 1 is Kathleen, 2 is Mark, 3 is Jay. All right, Mark, which of those seems more enticing at this time?
Well, Liam is a helper, so he's gonna check who's needing assistance.
Cool. Right, so let's figure out where Frontier. And someone give me a 1d10.
Roll that up, our leader.
Okay, but of course.
Okay.
That's when I roll well.
That doesn't mean it's bad.
True. It's probably bad though. I'm on a roll today.
So 8 dragons show up.
All needing help.
We're all hungry. There's not enough of you.
Boy, but
No.
the few years we could
That's a
repopulate.
conundrum.
I'm going to have to reskin some of this. Gnomes do not exist in this world. But, so, okay. You guys have
Very
made your
short northerners.
Yeah. As you
Oh,
guys
wow.
Long lost tribe of the midget.
the pygmy clan. As you guys travel south, 5 days journey through heavy forest, Jay is the sentry, leads you on a path that avoids heavy storms and heavy snows. The majority of you, as outrider and quartermaster and leader, you do a good enough job to make sure that the party gets through this place. But as you travel, on the 3rd day, you run into, you see a strange sight in the middle of the forest. A man, elderly, with a Fu Manchu and a bald head. He's cursing and yelling at an ox as his sled has gotten jammed and cracked against a large boulder. It's stuck, and it seems in a bad way, and he is alone, and he's cursing the fates and his ancestors and all of the gods, and he seems to be in trouble. What do you guys do?
I'm gonna hail him. Ho there, Elder. You seem to be in a bit of a pickle. Might we help?
No. Think
Liam doesn't even look back. He's just walking towards
immediately.
him, leaving everyone. But he sees an old person in need. He immediately goes there.
I'm gonna stand on the hill with my arm crossed and just lean over to Greta. How long before he gets his ass kicked?
5 minutes. That guy's gonna hit him with a pole. I already know it.
So Liam, as you walk through, you're a Western man. You are a stranger in this part. And this man, he looks up and he draws a knife, but his withered hands are marked with like liver spots. He is old. He couldn't defend himself if he wanted to. But after hearing you call out for help, he rests and lets out a long sigh, and he's like, "Thank Vatar and his 7 sons. Where did you come from, stranger? Yes, please, I need help."
So I'm gonna go have a look at the situation and see if there's anything we can do. Do we have to split the rock? Do we have to lift the wagon?
Yeah, when you look at it, it looks like the sleigh is toppled over, and he's really unable to get it flipped. This thing is huge. It looks like as you come closer, it looks like a workshop almost. It's big enough. Think of like a carriage. It's the size of like a carriage cart. It's huge. And his 2 animals, one of them has disappeared. You can see a trail kind of running off into the distance, while the other one just kind of chews on its cud. It's a big yak, and it's just no, not smacking away, unbothered.
Okay. And the
by
cart
it.
is toppled on the side.
It's toppled on its side. This thing would be heavy. It's definitely going to require animals to pull, or something else.
Does he have a lot of rope?
Yes, I do, actually. Give me a second. He does what he can to climb on top of this toppled over thing. His legs are kicking in the air as he wiggles his way up. He slides through one of the doors that swings upwards. He falls in with the crash. You can hear like a clatter of pans and all kinds of stuff. He's rustling around, just kind of shouting to himself. He's like, "Where did I put that?" And then suddenly you see a bundle of rope tossed up and out from the door, and he struggles to pull himself up. He is out of breath. He's sweating, and you just see
I'm
him
gonna help
kind
him down like a dainty lady, grab him by the hips.
Yeah. Give me a strength check. Let's see this.
Sure.
Seeing him drop the knife, I'm gonna just look over at Greta. Man, I think we were wrong. We probably
24.
should, walk in there behind him.
Oh yeah, he comes down gracefully. He looks like Dirty Dancing. He's doing a little swan.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I'm gonna fucking hold him like Dirty Dancing and spinning him around.
Had the time of my life. Yeah. The old frail man maybe weighs $120, but he comes down. He's sweating. But yep, he's like, "I got the rope. This old cow won't do much though. You don't happen to have a couple of animals on your own?"
We do, right?
We
Yeah.
have our pack yak whatever thing that we
Yeah.
had,
Yeah,
And then
you
I
got a
think we have
yak
to-
and a
I'll,
horse.
and a riding horse.
I'll go back to the group with the horse. I tell the old man, just wait a minute. I'm gonna go ask my fellow travelers for help with this. And I'm gonna come up with them. I'm gonna show them the rope. I'm gonna say, "This old man's cart toppled over and he lost one of his beasts. The least we could do is help him to set him up straight. So I figured we tie the rope to his cart, have 2 of the horses pull it back up, and then we can hitch it back for him. I don't know if we can find his lost animal. That seems a little risky and maybe foolish."
I can at least follow it for 10 minutes. Snow should be deep enough here. I can follow it for 10 minutes up the trackway and see if I see anything. It could be long gone. I don't know how long he's been here, but at least try.
I'll come with you. Lars will head out as you guys track this. Go ahead and give me a wisdom check at advantage.
17.
Nice. Easily done. As you push forward, you find the trail. This thing isn't very far off, maybe 200 yards, and it is lazily chewing. Its eyes kind of just glossed over, and it's just smacking just this dumb animal. But it's just chilling, and you guys are able to recover it, no problem.
Awesome.
Cool. So we're gonna hitch the cart and tie it to the horses, and I'm gonna help push it up, and Greta can help hold the horses and control them.
And Tuya's there too, who's an animal handler. She'll
Oh,
definitely
Tuya
help you
too.
guys.
Yeah. So she should help, definitely.
Yeah, no problem. This is pretty easy. No checks. As you guys get the ropes kind of set up, you hoist this thing, tie it against these animals, and it heaves and it pulls and topples with a big thud into the snow. It's mostly intact. You see as it swings back upright, there's a variety of different herbs hanging from kind of the outside rim of this thing, drying in the weather. And it appears that this man is some type of herbalist. And he's overcome with joy. He's clapping. He's like, oh, thank God. I thought I was going to die out here alone. My God. Is there any way I can repay you? I don't have much, but I was out here searching for herbs.
Actually, this is really fortuitous because we happen to have a fellow traveler with us that is not doing very well. And if you have anything that can help his condition, we're trying to bring him back to the forward camp. Insert name of camp here.
It's just called the forward camp.
I don't know if we're gonna make it.
It's literally just the name. They haven't figured it out yet.
He has a broken leg, and we're no doctors. Nobody could set it back. So if you could just maybe have a look at it.
Yeah, of course. Let me see. Where is he now? He'll follow you guys back to where Atka is, and he examines him. He puts his hand against his forehead and he pulls it back. He's burning with fever. And he looks rough condition. He kind of flips over the cloak to reveal his broken legs. He rolls up his pant leg and it's swollen and discolored purple.
Probably fucking smells.
Yeah, he's fucking bad. Yeah, he's probably shit himself, pissed himself. He's no good. His body is swollen. He soiled himself, and he looks empathetic. He doesn't look shocked to see a man in this condition. You can probably tell that he's helped in his day many a people. He covers him back up, and he stands up and he looks to you all gravely. He's like, I can make him comfortable, but this man needs to see a surgeon. He's in a rough way. Give me some time. He'll head back to his carriage or his sleigh. He's like, come in, please. It's quite warm. Please. He swings open the door, and it's pretty large in there. I mean, it's basically a studio apartment. This thing is
Liam
really
will walk
nice.
in, and since there's a bunch of stuff on the floor, he'll start cleaning up for him.
Yeah, there's shit top all over. There's clothes and broken vases and pots and pans and anything you can think of. But he goes and he starts to grab some herbs. He flips couch cushions and other things to find what he needs because it's scattered. But after some time, when you guys sit in there, it's quite warm and comfortable. There's a small iron wood burning stove, and there's a little chimney going, a little pipe up and out this thing. But he begins to make a tincture. It takes some time, but he gets the herbs together and he produces a few things. The first one is a salve. He says 3 uses. This salve will reduce the pain. It's an analgesic. It won't get him through the worst of it, but it'll reduce the pain and it'll reduce the swelling. Give him this tincture. This will reduce the fever and reduce his pain. It is very mild pain reliever, but be careful not to give him too much. He can die. So just 2 drops. And then the last thing that he gives you guys is something else. He's like, and this is for you. And he provides, I don't know how to explain it. Basically it looks like a dry, like herbs, almost kind of like, I guess chewing tobacco. Let's call it that. So chewing herbs. He's all, this is for you, but it may help him. Put this into your cheek. It'll keep you guys nice and warm. and it'll get you through some severe weather. It'll raise your senses, and when you use this, it gives you a +1 to wisdom checks, like perception related. And this lasts 4 hours. Has 3 uses, and there you go.
Sweet.
I'm gonna
Thanks.
thank him kindly.
Of course, if there's anything else I would do, I would, but I have to get back to my research. You've been kind, and I hope that the rest of your travels are safe. Farewell. And you guys head on. That was day 3. Day 4 and day 5 go without event, and you make your way back to the forward camp. And
Any
then,
sign of, as we're getting close to the camp, where the where that army of mercenaries there's a name for them that you kept calling them, and for the life of me I can't remember what it is, but
Crusaders, the
Crusaders,
Crusaders.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crusaders of the Faithful Shard.
Thank you.
Put that in chat.
Can you? As we get close? I mean, is it just like everything is stamped out? Like this was just a huge army that started walking through more than what we originally that original 100?
It's hard.
to tell.
It's hard to tell. It's been 5 days plus, it's been almost 2 weeks. It's been
Yep.
about 11 days since you guys are at the Mammoth. Round trip, it's been 17 days.
Yep.
So, yeah, there is nothing that you'd see at this point that'd be left over, other
worries.
than normal foot traffic. However, we are concluding the journey, so the last step is arrival. When the party arrives at their destination, the sentry rolls a d12, an x d12, or x is equal to your wisdom modifier.
Oh.
So
Okay.
whatever your wisdom is.
6d12.
Cool.
6d12.
And you're going to take the highest result, which is a 12.
Yep.
Oh, my rules cut off. Let me go consult the big PDF. Hang on a moment. Arrival. Okay, so a 12. Safety. The party ends their journey in a safe location far from danger. This may well be a fortified city during peacetime, arcane, and you guys have no problem. The journey comes to an end. Little bit of an event, but mostly no problems.
We don't do the constitution check.
Oh, did I skip something?
Journey's
Yeah.
End. I don't know.
Oh, I did.
That was I thought, is that at the end, or is that just if we abandon it?
Yeah, I
No,
don't know.
Oh,
That-
all
that
right.
is
so
suppo-
that's
Journey's
when-
End, abandon,
Yeah.
arrival.
I skipped
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys, each party member make a con check, adding quartermaster strength or intelligence to the result.
So it's +10.
Nice.
21.
You have a +10 to your strength.
Strength, yeah.
Damn, big boy.
26.
Okay, you guys are fine. All of you will pass with the +10. On a success, each character gains temporary HP equal to your level.
That
And you
works.
all gain inspiration since everyone passes. So you guys have arrived in high spirits. The quartermaster keeping you nice and healthy. The last leg of the journey. And finally, you see the horizon dotted in campfires. You can hear the soft roar of the crowd as you make it back to the forward camp.
Yeah. Roll in.
So I would rush Atka to who's the best healer we have there?
That would be, one moment.
Brother Malcolm?
No. Why can't I think of his name? Oh, Quintus Verus.
I was gonna say,
Alright, well,
I think
then
our
I'll-
first, we roll right into the Ebonhawk. Like, hey, we
Yeah.
we got back and did what we needed to do. 2, we got a fucking problem.
Yeah. And you would know Quintus Verus. He is an expert scholar, and he performed emergency surgery on Batu, who is one of the
Yep.
first guys
Oh,
early
right.
on.
Yeah.
Who suffered similar, well, not similar, but it was an animal. But
Yeah,
he
he
also
lost his
lost his
leg.
leg, so.
Yeah.
So I'll take him to Quintus, and I'm gonna tell him I'm gonna take you to a friend. He'll take care of you.
Okay. And since this, Greta, is the first time you've been here, let me give you
Yeah.
kind of a description of this place. The forward camp, as you guys approach, it's a massive fortification. This picture doesn't really do it justice, but here is kind of a visual aid. It's a frontier fort, basically. It's outlined in wooden battlements and houses roughly 1,000 to 1,500 people. The streets are jam-packed, and it's actually much busier than you guys remember. It seems to be busting at the seams. There's a variety of refugees and frostwalkers. Frostwalkers, you would know, Greta, they are clanless North people. People who've either been exiled or they're just country bumpkins that kind of don't move with the normal clans. This place is busting at the seams. To the south, over the mountain, more and more people arrive daily. And this place is bustling with trade, multiple cultures clashing. You hear people barking for business on the corners. The streets are muddy and wet as animals and sleds and cargo is dragged through this place, carving deep lines. And you can see, if you hover over some of these areas on the map, you'll see kind of the different districts. But where you guys are going is the Ebon Hawk headquarters. The Ebon Hawk is a well-known mercenary group. They help these guys early on, and they are their closest allies in this place. As you roll through, a familiar face, Mavenestra. She's out. The quartermaster, making sure that everything is running safely in the camp. And she sees you, and she sees Tuya, and she sees the grave look on your face, and she greets you and says, "What's going on? What's happening here?" Liam, Bost, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you too, Quartermaster Mavenestra. How are things?
Could be better. This place is, things are getting a little crazy. There's refugees coming in every day. Something's going on in the west, but we can talk about that
Refugees
later.
from the west?
Yeah. You haven't heard? I guess you've been gone
So-
for a couple weeks.
The army's coming in then, I guess.
She nods gravely. More men have landed. There's rumors that an armada of ships landed at Thalwind, and we're getting knaves by the dozen and more refugees pushing east deeper into the mainland, and a lot are stumbling here. There's not enough supplies or shelter to go around, and things have gotten pretty bad.
Grim news.
Yeah, and disease and criminal activities definitely gone up, but we're still holding our own. We keep our own nice and safe here. Come on, come in. You guys look wary.
We need to. We are, but we need to get to Quintus quickly. We have a northerner from the Mammoth clan in need of some immediate attention.
Oh, well then don't let
look.
Yeah, don't let me stop you. The quartermaster will go and she inspects the body and she peels back the cloak that you guys have him wrapped in. You know what this reminds me of? What was the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio? It was in the Frontier.
So much to go on.
I was like, yeah.
That one of the
You won an
9,000.
Academy Award for it?
The bear, when he gets attacked by the
Yes,
bear?
yes.
Yeah.
I can't remember the fucking name
Survival.
of it. Though, but
I
know
think it's just
fucking-
named. I think it's just survival, isn't it?
It's something weird. Whatever. That's what I imagine. He's all fucked up,
Oof.
swollen, dirty. She peels it back and she looks at him and she reels from it. It's like, he looks fucking bad. Yes, please get him. I will get food. I will get hot water. She shouts to a couple local hands of the outfit. She says, "Gather some materials. We need clean sheets, clean clothes, and warm water. And let's go to Quintus now. The Revenant. Thank you. Jesus.
You're welcome.
And you guys head into Quintus Ferris's headquarters. He's got a lavish tent. He is the benefactor he's the benefactor of the Ebon Hawk. He is well-to-do man from the West with untold fortune. But as you swing open his tent, you see him with a book perched in hand. He's bespectacled and he seems to be in deep thought. But he looks to you guys like, what's the meaning of this? What's going on? It takes him a second to recognize you guys. He's like, Liam.
Hello, Quintus. Unfortunately, I bring bad tidings. And I'm going to show him the man. I'm going to tell him this man has been traveling with a broken leg for days. It's infected. It smells. It needs to be removed.
Quintus snaps the book shut and tosses it to the side, and he inspects the man. He's like, holy shit. Liam and Bast, you need to quit doing this. We cannot make a habit of bringing almost dead men back to my camp. Okay.
It was after talking with Serena and looking for the hunting party that this came about. It was not our intention.
He gives you a quizzical look, not quite sure he understands what you're saying, but he's like, okay, go run out and have Maven Esther get her people. We need hot water. And as he says it, people bust through. Yeah, they just bust through. They've got a couple of basins of warm water. They've got clean linens, bandages, a suture kit, and his implements, like a table. And they get him set up. Varys does his best to wash his hands clean. He uses distilled alcohol to clean his implements as he takes out a doctor's bag, lays out scalpel and tongs and a variety of different things. And I
set the last use of the salve just next to everything just because we have it, and it was for him to just set it there and just back up.
It's like, I think you want to leave. Tosi and Kaga bust through with the rest of them. They're overwhelmed. But he's like, please, I don't need any distractions. This man may not live the night. Get the hell out of my tent. And I don't know who you are, but get the hell out of my tent.
Greta, let's get them. Let's get them.
Okay. So just walk out.
No, say it. Let's grab Kaga and Tosi. Bring.
Oh, that's gonna be more challenging. So she'll talk to them in Northern to be like, "Hey, we need to step out. I know we don't want to leave him, but we can wait outside to let them focus and truly try to save him."
They hesitate, but they understand, and the rest of the people, yeah, get the hell out.
I don't promise I can get the warg out though.
Oh yeah. No, the warg's not in there. The warg's not in there. But the warg, I didn't even think about that. You guys are definitely drawing fucking looks, but since this is right at the top, the camp, you see a lot of the hands in the camp in the Ebon Hawk headquarters. A lot of them are just kind of workers. They give it a wide berth. A couple of people have drawn arms as you guys come out of the tent to let Quintus Ferris perform surgery. Couple people with pitchforks. They're shouting, and the animal is now drawn its teeth and its fur is quilled up. But with that, I think we should slide into our 15-minute break as Quintus does his best to save this man's life, and
we need to do some background rolls to know what happens.
yeah, there's some shit going on.
2 minutes to amputate that leg.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll be right back. And we are back. Sorry, we're all like trying to.
This
food
is D&D for all of those that this is tabletop RPGs for all of those that ever play them. At some point, everybody is stuffing their face.
Yeah, we don't have fucking production value. Critical
We're
role
hungry.
bullshit. Yeah, we need to eat. I've got a brain freeze now. All right, we are back. Last we left off, you guys have dropped Atka off for emergency surgery. The second time that this has happened in the last month or so. Quintus Varus, being the gentle heart that he is, welcomes, no questions asked, puts the man on the slab. You guys walk out of the tent. He asks for some privacy and no distractions into the cold of the winter in the north. And you see the warg, the 4-foot tall or the 5-foot tall wolf, gray with the jet black streak on its nose, looking at the people around it. And there is a bit of tension. But Tuya, she goes and calms the animal. And the other people, Lars, he's like, calm down. It's no problem. He's just a big beast, but he won't cause any harm. It's a warg. He's trained. But if you cause any problems, maybe we'll have him bite your head off. A couple of the little kids in the area, they're shy and kind of run off playing, but we're going to leave it to you guys. You know that this type of surgery could take hours, potentially days. When you rolled into town, it was mid-morning. We'll call it about 10 a.m. Mavinestra and the rest of the kitchen, they're staying open a little bit later. The mess hall is open. They do have some food and drink for you. But otherwise, the town is open. What do you guys want to do?
Well, first thing, I'm gonna just kind of step, in front of Kaga and how do you say her name? Is it Tosi? Tosi?
Tosi. Yep.
And just tell them like, he does it sort of because he hasn't heard them truly speak trade tongue, so he starts kind of talking a little too slow. But so this. I know this is hard. This is gonna take a while, a long time. And he's like using his hand motion, using hand movements and stuff like that, like because he's not sure if they're truly gonna understand the trade tongue or not. And so this is gonna take a while, a long time. He could be here all day. Are you hungry? You should eat. It's been a long travel.
Tosi glances over to Kaga with a small smirk on her lips, and she's like, "You're not very bright, are you?" She's like, and they both bust out and laughing, just seeing you like trying to talk to them like a kid. But she says in trade tongue, "No problem."
Yeah,
it's like, "Yes, I am hungry. Something warm." It's like, "Please."
Mavinestra is an amazing cook. Follow me. Let's at least get some food.
Right.
Greta,
Kaga,
you coming with?
Kaga and Tosi would follow.
Someone's gonna have to translate for you.
They can speak trade tongue. Boss is just looking like a fool. Like, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Downside to his vice.
But they'll follow. The mess hall is left up. Breakfast. She serves breakfast. It's eggs to order, piece of bread with butter and some cheese. But she'll serve you all well. Mavinestra moves swiftly. No wasted movement as she prepares food. Her forearms are strong, and she knows this kitchen as if it's her second home. She grabbing things without looking, and she serves it up. There's a colander of milk, and warm tea is served. And she sits down, elbows on the table, and she watches you guys eat hungrily, with a nice look on her face. She's got one dimple on her cheek when she smiles, and says, "So tell me, it's been a long time. You guys look pretty rough. I'm gonna have one of the guys draw some baths for you. I can smell you from here." She's
Much
But-
obliged, yes.
But tell me, what's going on in the world? I heard you guys are going to talk to the Mammoth Clan. Is that right?
Yes, Area
It is.
Vistus sent us. We,
Yeah, I heard something like that.
We did make it. We made it out there. Had a conversation. Liam, we're gonna have to talk with Ariovistus at some point on that, as well as Jefferson
Yeah.
Anders.
Well, I'm sure he's heard by now, but yes, he'll want to know about these people and he'll want to talk to them.
But we went out and had the conversation with all this Crusader talk. Had a conversation with the Mammoth Clan leader. The gentleman we brought in was a warg rider. Warg, is that warg? Yeah.
Yes.
Their leader asked us to go find the hunting party that was west of the camp they had set up, and found him in a cavern. Capside? What's the word I'm looking for, Liam? What is that? Crevice?
Crevasse? It's just like, stuff in her face, throws the word out.
Yeah, that thing. And yeah, that was it. It was a trip for sure.
Maven Estra's got an endearing smile as you tell her story. Her eyes are kind of dancing a little bit, and she's just like, okay. But Liam, where is your manners? We have 3 ladies here, and you've done no introductions. Tell me, please, who are these beautiful women?
So I'm gonna make the introduction. These are the beautiful women that we found and that we brought back, and I'm not sure what they're gonna do here, but they're gonna meet Ariovintus. Am I getting it right?
Ariovistus.
Ariovistus. And I guess after that they're gonna have to go back to their camp, but in the meantime they will need places to stay and maybe a change of clothing. So if you guys don't have any place to set them up, I'll go see Brother Malcolm at the temple and see if they have any places for them. But yeah, you can ask them anything you want. Apparently they speak the trade tongue.
And she smiles. It's like, and stands. She wipes her hands onto her apron, and she does kind of a small curtsy to the ladies in Western tradition, though I'm sure they're like, what the hell is this lady doing? But she's like, yes, the 3 of you need a bath, a warm bath, and a good scrub. Come with me after you've eaten. She takes the plates and sets them aside. We'll go ahead and make you guys feel right at home. I do have rooms, but just for the ladies. Sorry, boys, but we're all full up. The town is busting at the seams. These 3 can stay with me in my personal quarters, but yeah, good luck convincing anyone else at the Ebon Hawk to bunk with you guys.
I think we can find our way. Don't you think, Liam?
We'll be all right, don't worry.
Good.
Nothing else,
Well,
we can go have a conversation with Jefferson Anders too. I bet hearing that we have 3 of the Mammoth Clan individuals brought back with us, he'll be a little excited to have the conversation with them as well.
Yeah, do what you'd like. And then she'll take Kaga and Tosi and Greta, if she's willing, to go
No.
get a bath and get cleaned up and be proper ladies. Though you guys are the north and you're a nomad tribe, so this is definitely something very different.
I can imagine one of them just like, getting into the bath with that, like, I don't know about this, and then all of a sudden the hot water hits and they're just like,
Yeah. That's probably all three of them.
Yeah.
Kaga is kind of the rough and tumble look, but yeah, whew, once you get that warmth, yeah, they all slide. The back pain and everything else just starts to fade. But yeah, you guys go do that. You're well attended to, warm individual baths. You have soaps and perfumes and oils and all the stuff to take care of yourself. And we'll cut to the boys. Lars, he's sitting up nearby the central campfire next to the warg and Tuya. He's absently smoking out of like a corncob pipe. And he stands up when he sees you guys approach. And he says, this place. Well, I guess all we have to do is wait then. Yeah, boys. I was looking to get with some ladies at the red light district. I don't know if you care to join. It's been a long time and man, I want to whore around. What about you?
Oh, that's not my kind of sin, but you're welcome to have fun there if you want.
I'll have fun for the both of us then. What about you, boss? You looking for some fun?
You see him kind of raise the eyebrow, and it hits the back of his head, and he's like, "Gotta get a little coin in my pocket, cause not necessarily sure I can afford it at the moment, but."
Oh, I know a girl who would take almost any price. You got a couple coppers on you? As long as you can rub them together, she'll rub you.
Let's roll. He's like, been a lot. You gotta. He's like 19, 20, so he's like, yeah, let's fucking go.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's like that a boy. Throws his big burly arm over your shoulder, and he's like, "Let's go." And you
Liam,
guys,
we'll catch up with you in the morning. We'll meet. We'll go have the conversation with Ariel Vistus and Jefferson Anders. Sound good? As he's like literally walking down the street with.
He says, Lars will smile, and he's like,
"Wear your lambskin."
Yep, and you guys head over to the red light district, and we will cut to you. We'll slide. I'll try to bounce between you guys, but Liam, you're left mostly to your own devices there. What are you doing?
I'm gonna go check on Brother Malcolm.
Okay. So you head south to the Temple of the Shattered One. It looks much different than what you remember it looking like since you've left. Since the Crusaders of the Shard, or the Faithful Shard, have left, you remember that Brother Malcolm was left hefty payment in silver for his services to the Western Kingdom. The place has been built up. It is no longer just loose tent flaps waving in the wind. It's fortified. And the whole western wing has completely been rebuilt. It's now basically like a log cabin style with a thatched roof on one half. And you can see as you enter, the main hall is much nicer. The floor is not just bare dirt, it's wood paneling, and the seating is not just whatever they had available. But as you enter, it is packed. People are sleeping on the pews in the main chamber. Multiple families from all different walks of life are here. And you see 3 people that you remember: Jameis, Jeb, and Imelda. Jeb, a young boy whose father died, and you guys kind of rescued the family from the farm as it got overrun. Jameis, the grandfather, and Imelda, the grandmother. They recognize you. And Jeb, he sees you and immediately runs to you, Liam. And he embraces you and he's like, oh my God.
Oh, I'm gonna catch him in one of those whirlwind hug when I pick him up and lift him and twirl him around and I say, Jeb, my lord, I swear you've grown so much since last I saw you.
And Jameis says, yeah, he has. He's been eating us out of house and home. It's like, it's good to see you, Liam. Jeb is laughing and he's like, I thought you were going to die, but you came back.
I did come back. Who's gonna teach you to read if I'm not there?
That's true. I've been practicing my letters. And then, he demonstrates the best that he can from what he remembers, fucking up just a little bit in the middle, but mostly gets it right.
I don't point at it at all. I say that I'm proud of him and I ruffle his hair.
Jeb's happy, but he runs off distracted and short attention span as children are. Other kids in this place, despite how sullen and sullen the situation is, the kids always find play with each other, always find a little bit of fun. They're throwing balls and shouting and screaming, doing what kids do. The rest of the families here, though, their cheeks are sunken, their eyes are dark, and there seems to be like a dark cloud hanging over this place. But you do see Brother Malcolm, but he does not see you. He seems to be working away with something near the altar.
I'm just gonna come up to him and say, so I see you've put my nails to good use.
He looks back and he's like, Liam, my boy, it's been a long time. Yes. Why, the blessing of the Shadra one? Yes, we have. And I'm thankful for your charity. We put it to use and a little bit more. Where have you been? It's been a few weeks. Are you okay?
Yeah, we were out in the wild. We had to warn some people, make sure that everyone was safe, and we found a wounded person, brought them back to camp for an operation. Fortunately, they're gonna lose a leg, but I think they'll survive. And we made some friends on the way, so overall, this was a pretty good trip. And how are things here? I see that you've been left some very generous donation. Are we expecting more?
He takes a moment to survey the room, says, walk with me. We've got a lot to discuss. And he'll walk towards his personal chambers. And as you enter, it's just as Spartan as it was before. One lone bed on the ground, a small end table, and one chair. Despite the money, this man truly is one of the good ones. He has not used any of it to make his life any more comfortable. But as the door swings behind him, he says, take a seat. As he sits on the bed with a groan, his old bones aching him as he rubs his left knee. Like, things aren't good. The silver was able to build better shelter, and I do have some in reserve for a hard time, but it's been eaten up by refugees over these last couple of weeks. I mean, as you can see, the town is busting with them. Outside of the city walls, outside of the city walls, I try to make a couple of trips a daily to make sure, but there's a small encampment to the west side outside of the walls, and it's not looking good. It's disease, real bad. A lot of sick and dying people. They've quarantined most of them, but tensions are really high in the city. I'm not sure what's going on, but the Crusaders of the Ebon Shard show up. News from the west says that another army has landed in Thalwind. I'm afraid war may be at a doorstep.
It is what it seems to look like. All the signs are pointing to it. These refugees, this looks bad. There'll be more. There'll be nowhere to put them. This place is going to be at risk. The more refugees we get, the more they'll want things.
I've done everything I can to help them, and our funds are getting low. I just wish we can get some more help. I know I've already asked so much of you, but you're one of the few good people that I can trust, and I know that you're capable. If you could maybe procure supplies, anything to help these people, I'd be indebted to you. Doesn't matter what it is. Copper, just your time. Anything.
I'll see what I can do.
Good. He smiles and his eyes disappear, the wrinkles in his face, and he stands up with another groan. It's like, well, if I do have to tend to the people. Do you want to walk with me? I'm going to make a trip to the outer walls. But
Of course. I'll come along and help, see what I can do.
Prepare yourself. It's a sight. He grabs his walking stick and you guys head west, and we are going to cut up to Greta. All right, Greta. The bath is perfect. It's nice and warm. It's everything that you need. You guys finish up and you are given clothes. Nice clothes. They will not replace your winter furs that you need to deal with the elements. But they fit you. They're nice, warm, and clean. And Mavenestra, she comes in to the three of you ladies, and she's like, I've got you a gift. I know that you've lived a little harshly these last few days, but this is something special. It's from the South. I don't know if you've ever had it before, but she takes a piece of cloth and unravels it and reveals some chocolate.
I'm sure Greta is going to be a little hesitant because I doubt she has had it before.
Yeah.
But then once she's in, she's going to be all in, and she'll be like, "Oh my God, how did you get this? This is delicious."
Well, we got a shipment from the Eastern Archipelago. There was a caravan that came back a week ago, and they had some spices and they had some chocolate. And let me tell you, I haven't had chocolate since I was a little girl, and I bought all of it as soon as I can. She's like, I'm glad that you like it. Tosi and Kaga, of course, they're also hesitant, just like you were. They smell it and they're like, ooh, it looks like dog shit.
Looks like work shit.
Try
Yeah,
it.
looks like
Try
work.
it.
But yeah, following your lead, they taste it, and yeah, of course, they're like, oh, it's so good. And like, what is this? What is it made out of? And Maven Esther smiles, her dimpled cheek, and is like, it's made of beans, believe it or not, and sugar and cream. And those beans are very special. They don't grow out here. They grow in a different part of the world, which I've never been to, if I'm being honest. Not in a long time, anyway. Not since I was a child. But I'm glad that you like it. I thought something nice and sweet would make you feel a little bit better, considering what's happening with your friend.
Yeah, he has a long road ahead of him. We appreciate this.
Good. Well, I'll leave you to it. Don't let me take any more of your time. You're welcome to stay with me. It's that tent over there, and she points. It's a lavender colored tent. It's a little bit worn with age. It's like at night I'll have a bedroll. You'll be safe there. You'll be warm and out of the rain and snow. But explore, enjoy yourself, and carry a weapon. There's a lot of activity in the streets recently, but I've got things to attend to around the camp. So goodbye. And she heads off. What do you do?
So being a merchant, she's going to immediately want to go and try to sell that ruby she got.
Nice. Okay. So you want to go probably here. You would ask around the Ebonhawk headquarters, and they're like, "Oh yeah, the market, the Pax Mercatorum is kind of southwest of town. You'll see it, and you'll see all kinds of stuff there." Excuse me. When you head to the Pax Mercatorum, it's as you arrive, there's a ton of different tents, multiple stalls. People are shouting at each other. They've got baskets and pots full of goods, wheat, barley, clothing, anything that you can possibly think of. And as you walk through this place, it's pretty huge. Again, this map doesn't do a good job at showing it, but maybe 50, 60 different stalls, a variety of different things. You do come across a person with fine jewels. This is a nice stall. And you may not recognize him, but the other guys would. 1 second. You see a man. He's got interesting clothing, something you've never seen. A shawl wrapped around his head and a turban. Long flowing robes with a spotted creature fur cape. He's got a twisted sword that's shaped a scimitar, and he's got silk slippers on, which seem quite odd. But his stall is beautiful. It's a caravan wagon that looks very similar to the sled that you saw. It looks like a traveling home that's parked there, and he greets you with a smile. It's a bright, charismatic smile, and he says, "Ah, customer, I know it when I see one. Come here, please, my dear."
So, I mean, she'll be like gawking at how foreign this person looks to her. But she'll approach and she's going to try to subtly bring it up and says, I have something I need to sell. I expect a fair price. Are you willing to look at it?
Fair. There's nothing fair in this life. But he smiles and he steps down from his little platform, and but yes, I'm willing to take a look. It looks like you're a rather shrewd operator. I know that this is not going to be easy, is it? Let's see what you have then.
So she'll pull it out from her. Well, I guess she has it tucked into whatever dress she's wearing now. And like try to discreetly uncover it and just kind of slide it across to him to have a look at. I found this.
Now this is something different. He takes it gingerly between his fingertips, and his hands are very deft with it. You can tell that he's used to handling things of a high quality. He takes a look at it, and he reaches into his pocket with the other hand, and he pulls out a jeweler's loupe. And he looks through the magnifying glass, and he inspects it, twisting it in his hand, trying to get light to move through it. He examines the color, and he's like, "Give me a moment, please." He steps back up onto the platform, and from underneath, like a desk or a counter, he pulls out a small scale. He sets the counterweights and he weighs it, and then he has some calipers and he gets the dimensions of it. He basically gets the size, dimensions, the weight. He's grading it. He's taking notes on it. He's scrawling wildly on a piece of parchment with a like a charcoal pencil. And then it takes him some time, and he's interesting. He pulls out a book. He's flipping through pages. He's looking at it. He's going back to the stone. He's like, this, what you have here is quite rare. Do you know what it is?
I don't remember if we... Did we say, like, she recognized it as a ruby?
Yes. I'm pretty sure.
Kind of look at him a little weird, like, it's a precious gem. You mean,
Right.
what do I know what it is?
But you know why it's precious. This is a ruby, but it is exotic.
I mean, I've never found one here before, but I mean, if you say it's exotic.
And here I was thinking that you were a cut above the rest. And he just smiles. He's like, nevertheless, I won't insult you. It is a ruby, but not a ruby that's found here. This coloring is probably brought from the south. This is something that I've seen in my homeland. Where did you come across it, if you don't mind me asking?
Great question. Hang on.
If you have your notes and you say it, you get inspiration. But otherwise, I'll tell you.
I don't remember exactly where we were. I know it was when she was on watch and she had
Yes.
found that old dead person
Yeah.
and found it on him. But I don't remember where they were.
Just somewhere in the forest, basically. You just stumbled across. You saw during your watch, you saw a flicker of red. You went and investigated, and it was just on a old dead body.
So I found it in the woods on an old dead guy.
Interesting. Well, your fate's luckier than his. Yes, this is the southern sunfire ruby, a size of which I have not seen. Because of its rarity and weight, I appraise this at, what did I say? It was 300 copper?
You said somewhere between 4 and 8 was the what I had in my notes.
Yeah, I
Right.
had 4 written down.
So, roll me a charisma check.
Shopify helps you sell at every stage of your business. Sell it online. Take it in person.
Shopify's helping me, Jay. Be quiet.
Yeah, he's got to get the best
Hey,
deals on the internet.
You do. You got to look it up. You know.
You said charisma, right?
Yeah, charisma. Okay. He says, for you, I'll give you a good deal. I can give you 400 copper pieces for this. It's exceptionally rare, but not many people can move it. And that's my final offer.
$400 copper pieces, and you tell me what that spotted thing is you're wearing.
Oh, this. Very well. He'll go into his room, opens the door into the caravan, and comes out. And he's got 2 copper like plates that are stamped and weighted. They equal to about 400 copper pieces in total. He'll give you a bill, a receipt for the transaction. And he says, this is a leopard. It's a big cat from my land. It's very, very difficult. They are surprise hunters. And ambush predators. Much like the saber tooth. You're familiar with that in these parts.
Yes. Very.
Though not quite as big. This was a juvenile. And when I was a young boy, part of my clan's rite of passage as a man was to hunt one. And I did. And I've worn it ever since.
Well, it's lovely.
I seem to think
Thank
so
you
too. Thanks for asking. He'll hand over the copper and he'll give you the receipt. Says, you seem to have some skill. This isn't the first time you've wheeled and dealed, I imagine. Is that right? Are you a merchant by training?
I am.
Interesting. I'm looking for some help. My I had an assistant who has gone missing, a young southern girl by Zowinia. But I'm sure she's about. This is a big town. If you'd like, I need some help in the shop every once in a while. The pay is okay. It's 10 copper a day. I just need someone to count inventory, write up the paperwork, that sort of thing. Would you be interested?
I don't know how long I'll be in town, but while I'm here, absolutely.
Okay. Well, come see me tomorrow if you are in town. We're getting a shipment in tomorrow from the south. Camber is going to drop off, and I need someone to inventory and document it. And I'll give you an advance as well if you show up. And I suppose I should introduce myself. Where are my manners? With a lavish bow, real deep, and he whips his cape back behind him. He's like, my name is God.
Abdul?
I forgot his name. Abdul. Hold on, I have a full name. 1 second. It's more than Abdul. I'm looking through my notes. It's Abdul Saddam Mustafa. Pleased to meet you. I am your humble servant. And as he comes up, he extends his hand. And you are?
She'll take it and she's gonna do the traditional northern shake there.
The Hercules handshake.
Yeah. Like, I'm Greta.
And I imagine because Greta's she's a hardy lady, let's say. He's pulled in. And he's like, oh,
she's yanking it.
And he's like, he grabs his arm a little bit, kind of joking, as if you heard him, just kind of playful. He's like, this is a strong grip. Well met, Greta. I haven't met many people of the North who are educated such as yourself, but I'm sure we'll have prosperous dealings. As he says that, some customers kind of start perusing. He's like, if you excuse me, I have business to do. And he attends to those people.
And just like that, Greta becomes fascinated with anything Southern. Like, she is enthralled now.
Heck yeah. Abdul is definitely a slick motherfucker. You get 400 copper pieces, which equals 400 experience. By the way, guys, I did not say this. For the journey that you made, you each get 750 experience points.
Nope.
And we will cut back to Bost and Lars. Bost, as you and Lars head over to Emberhaven, the red light district to the east of town, you are met with a ton of streetwalkers, women of varying degree of beauty and health and teeth. They greet you. They greet you.
That's an important detail.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you got to pay extra for that. Actually,
you pay extra per tooth.
Yeah. As you come up, multiple women are coming up to you. The ones who don't have their own private stalls, they're pretty haggard. Dirty clothing, they're in desperate situation. They're kind of, hey, come with me, big boy. Oh, what a strong adventure. Da, da, da. All of the classic. There's a couple of men too. They're also, it's pretty rough. But as you get into the heart of Emberhaven, the main line, you see much nicer places. There are tents, of course, of varying degree. And there is one structure that stands out. It's wooden, and it has a sign of a rose and a thorned rose with blood dripping from it. That seems to be the nicest establishment in here. Lars, he looks to you and he's like, all right, friend, this is where we part. I don't do team outings, but I'm going to have myself some fun. as he wraps his arm around two ladies on the street, and they head off to one of the stalls. He's going to go do his business. But you are left to your own devices here. And what are you looking to do?
Being as young as he is, he probably seeing Lars just walk off is like, I have no idea how any of this works. And probably, I would say he looks for probably the best. He's gonna look for the cleanest person that he can find if in the whole like area, and get scared and then literally bolt because he has no clue what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, Lars, he's like, oh, I know a girl, and immediately just is like
ditches, and he's just like,
boss.
It's like that. It's like that first time in a strip club, and it's just like you're like,
oh god,
fuck,
oh
yeah, and just fucking bolts.
Yeah, you Scooby Doo the fuck out of there.
Yeah,
tail between your legs.
Yep, and he's going to find his way back to Jefferson Anders just to let him know that he's gonna find his way back to Jefferson Anders, who had originally given him the actual quest of going and getting info.
Cool. So you head back to Jefferson Anders, and on your way, a man approaches you in the street. You're cutting through one of the causeways. It's a little bit darker, and he approaches you. He is hooded, his face shadowed. He's got big, broad shoulders. And as you kind of notice this, he's maybe 20 feet away. You see the flicker of steel.
I think just seeing the flicker of steel, he just dead stop in his tracks. I imagine being a survivalist, try to make himself small to get the smallest target that he can from whatever this weapon might be, and just puts his hand back, ready to draw his own dagger if the guy actually attacks. If there's a roll involved with that, let me know.
He's 20 feet away. Now he's 10 feet away. And as he gets closer, go ahead.
No, at that point, who are you? What do you want?
I want your coin, not your life, but I will take it if I have to. And you see the flicker of steel as a blade like slides out of his sleeve, and he's got a sword in his hand, and it's drawn low and tight towards his leg. He's 10 feet away from you, and now he's encroaching.
He'll just drop the pouch off of his hip on the ground and just back against the wall. He's gonna get a 80 copper total. That's all he's getting. So
he crouches down and grabs it, and he weighs it in his hand, gives it a couple tosses, and you can see a smile from underneath the shadowed cloak. He's a smart man. He hides it into his cloak, and then he slides off, disappearing out of sight as he cuts through the crowd. And you're left coinless.
I'm gonna attempt to follow him.
Okay. Give me a wisdom check.
13.
Let's see. He's got to beat that.
Oh, fuck yeah, he does.
Yeah. As you try to follow him, you look. The cloak that he was wearing is very common. It's just he blends into the crowd, Assassin's Creed style, basically. He's just walking in the crowd and you lost him. You're kind of searching frantically, looking at them, but he is nowhere to be seen.
Takes a big deep breath, sighs to himself. Should have stayed in the fucking trees. and keeps making his way to wherever it is that. I think if I remember right, it was over somewhere by the Temple of the Shattered One that Jefferson's stall was.
He was down here.
Oh, okay.
So you make your way down to the Pioneers Outpost, which is a loose collection of skilled laborers, trackers, farmers, hunters, and other miscellaneous working class people. Jefferson Anders, you will approach him. He's an old trapper and explorer. He's hanging out, and you see him. He's biting an old pipe between his teeth, puffing away, and he's talking to a couple of gentlemen. One of them waves his hand and walks away, and just kind of dismissing him. Anders takes a long draw, taps it out, and then he sees you. He doesn't quite recognize you, though, and he says, "Can I help you? Are you lost, friend?"
Mr. Anders, no. I have some info that you were willing to pay for. And some more
Really
info
now?
that I think you'd be willing to pay for. I just got to go have a conversation with somebody else at some point to facilitate that. You talked to me
Really
a couple. You talked to me a couple weeks ago about facilitating some trade with the Mammoth Clan.
I do remember that. What of it? Don't tell me that you actually got in touch with them.
I did.
Well, I'll be damned. Well,
I actually escorted 3.5 back to camp.
interesting. Okay. Here. Let's go inside. I'm getting a little cold. If what you say is true, it sounds like I owe you some money. Come on, my tent's just this way. He goes over to an old prospector style tent, very bare bones. He flips it open, and it's kind of sparse living quarters. He goes into a chest and he pulls out a bottle of whiskey, uncorks it, and he sets down two wooden cups, and he pours himself some, and then he kind of raises it up, looking like, "Hey, you want a drink?" All right, take a seat, son. Take a seat, son. He pours you a drink. He slams pours it again, slams the second one, pours one more, and he's sipping on it. All right. So tell me, who did you contact with the Mammoth Clan? What's the situation?
Well, had interactions with quite a few, but Zarina was the first.
Mhm.
I know they headed back towards camp, but was able to bring a couple of people back with me. One being from the camp. Her name's Greta. I believe that does something with selling. I could be completely wrong, but we went up there to warn them about a couple of minor situations. We found where one of their hunting camps were, and then ended up having to make our way back. And then he goes into the whole long drawn out story of like probably way too many details for what this guy wants.
No, it's good. He's interested. He's like, okay. You recount your story. You tell him of the hunting grounds, the river, the cave.
Yep.
He's going to take a map out. He asks for rough locations. You do your best to remember where they are. As a survivalist, it shouldn't be an issue. He's like, good. Okay, good. He marks the landmarks. And then he says, well, I owe you some coin then, if what you say is true, but I'll have your word on it, right? And he looks to you.
You have my word, and if you would like to see a little bit more in truth, the gentleman that was injured, his warg is actually here in camp as well.
No shit. Proper warg, huh? Heard about them, never seen them. All right, you take me to that friend of yours, but for this, I'll pay you now. For the 3 points of interest that you guys found, that's 300 copper pieces.
Yeah. Okay.
Says, okay, I'll meet this friend of yours. If what you say is true, we can set up some trade. I've got some skins I'd love to trade. And I've got some other supplies. I've been trying to get in connection with the Mammoth clan for years now. But they don't trust outsiders like myself. I'm surprised a southerner like you, no offense, was able to crack that shell, but well, whatever you did, God bless you.
I think it was the other people that anyway, cuts himself off, realizing what he's about to say. As, as I said, I mean, I not exactly sure where they. I know they went to. Well, anyway, if we get up to the Ebon Hawk, I know at least Maven Estra's seen a couple of them, and I know that's where the warg is because one of them isn't going to leave the warg side. Um, we can at least have the conversation. It might be tomorrow, but we can have the conversation and see what comes of it.
Hey, you don't need me to give me any excuse to see Maven Nestra. Well, that girl, whew, that's a woman, let me tell you. He's like, all right, let me get my things. He drinks the rest of the whiskey. He offers you another pour.
He still sees probably half the glass, and then before leaving, he just kind of downs the rest of it, squints and coughs, puts the cup down. I'm okay.
All right. He puts the cork back into the bottle with a squeak, stows it away into his cloak as he heads out, and you guys will head back to the Ebon Hawk.
Mhm.
And I will cut to Liam. I'm doing like ring around the rosies. Liam, you and Brother Malcolm are heading west outside of the camp. It's a short walk, but as you get closer to the doors, this place is mostly barricaded. The town guard and militia have this place locked down. Excuse me. There's people at the gates begging to be let in. A lot of the people are getting pushed back, some violently getting kicked down into the mud. Weapons are drawn. It's a poor sight to see. These desperate people are crashing in waves against it. But after a while, they kind of break up. Brother Malcolm, he sees safe passage. It's you, Brother Malcolm, and a couple of his helpers. And you guys breach the threshold, and what you see is a shanty town. The forward camp isn't all that nice, but most people live with some type of comfort. A lot of the people here are living uh, together in, I mean, lean-tos the best they can. They've got debris and other detritus kind of stacked up, um, discarded barrels and trash heaps and whatever else they can get their hands on. Some people are, out in the open doing their best, burning anything they can find. There are droves of people here, sick. Some are so thin that you can see bones in their face. There are a few people dead in the street, malnourishment or just exposure. Brother Malcolm, he puts his hand on your shoulder and he's like, this thing is dire.
Yeah, we've got our work cut out for us.
Ah, well, usually what we'll do is try to feed some of the sickly, the children first, then the women. The two men with you, they've got kind of a big barrel of broth. That's really all they can do, like cabbage soup, basically. And they crack the top open and they start feeding the masses. They're sick and dying. Brother Malcolm does his best to treat them. And a woman goes to you, Liam. She is young, 16 years old, though she looks much older. Life has been really rough. Her eyes are sunken, her skin is sallow, and she's on the ground, her hands pulling at your pants. And she looks up, she's like, please, anything. I beg of you, sir, take me, please. I'll do anything for you. Just help me.
Do you have any skill?
No, I can sew. I can sew real good. My mom taught me that. I can sew real good. I can fix and patch you up good. Just please anything. I don't want to die.
Can I make an appraisal check on this slave?
Sure. I don't even think you need to make a check. What are you trying to inspect on her?
Well, does she look like is she on the brink of death or can she actually pull her weight, you know?
She's got some strength left in her. She looks rough, but because of her age, she'll do. Probably she definitely needs to eat and put some weight on her, but she's not she's not completely gone.
Yeah. Maybe I can find work for you. And Maven Estra takes care of everybody's gear. I'm sure she could use someone to mend clothing and armor. Um, before I do that though, we need to get rid of the bodies. We can't let these bodies out in the street. They have to be buried or burned, or everyone will get sick. So let's see if you have some muscle in you, girl. I'll
She
give
begin
her a ration.
Oh, yeah, she takes it from you greedily and she scarfs this thing down. The is a bit too much for her. She hasn't eaten in days and her stomach is a bit upset. She retches, but she does not puke. She's catching her breath after it. It's a kind of a sad sight to see someone in, but she has no shame left at this point. Uh, but she thanks you and she's like, "Oh my God, what is your name? You
I'm Brother Liam.
brother,
Pleased to meet you.
you're more than a brother. You're my savior. You're an angel."
What
She
is your
gets up,
name, dear?
she wraps her arms around you and she's kind of crying. She's, my name is, let's roll a 1d4 as we generate this NPC. What was one? Is that Western? West?
I don't
The
recall.
Southern.
Southern. Southern girl, and her name is Tia. I am Tia. Thank you so much. You don't understand how much this means to me. Da-na-na-na. You have
Well,
recruited Tia. She is a level 1 knave.
I used to be a knave too. I know what it's like. Don't worry. I'll take care of you as best as I can.
And she gets to work. She is wearing cloth slippers. I mean, she's barely wearing anything, but she finds a vigor and strength to work. She goes and collects the bodies best that she can, weak as she is. She starts with the small ones, children and emaciated, whatever. She drags them through the snow and begins to pile them one after another best she can. But she is working diligently and best, you know.
If there are any guards around from the city, I'll ask one of them if he can spare some time. Probably
Uh,
won't, but
you can try. You do see a guard. He's got a he's kind of older. He does not look sympathetic soul. But yeah, make a charisma check.
sweet. So I'm just gonna tell him, excuse me, sir, we're gonna grab all the dead bodies, bring them out a little bit this way, and we're gonna burn them because there's just too many. And if the sickness spread, then it'll be a problem for the town. So if you can either help gathering the bodies or prevent people from, getting hurt from the fire or keep the crowds away, that would be really helpful. And I rolled a 14.
Not bad. He's a bit hesitant. This is gonna be a flat roll. He says, "All right, let's gather these fucking bodies up. If this, we need to stop the sickness. You're right. We can't let it breach the city, and these bodies are just going to pile up." He shouts to another man, one of the guards, one of his subordinates, and he and him help. They grab some of the bodies, both of them wrapping their face with a handkerchief. And they start grabbing the bodies by ankles and wrists and just kind of wheelbarrow tossing them into piles. The lifeless corpses, their mouths agape in a rictus of pain and death, their eyes hollowed out. They're piled just without any kind of feeling. And maybe 30 bodies are collected. There is a small crowd of these refugees forming at the outskirts, but they cling together as they watch the grisly scene. Um, and you guys put them to fire. And after a while, they begin to bubble and pop, and a big black plume of smoke begins to fill the air, and it does not smell nice. The wind catches it and dissipates it the best they can. But the guards pull away. And the one guard that you asked, he starts shouting to his men. He's like, "Get upwind from this goddamn thing. We can't be catching the sickness." It's like, "You people fucking move." And he's like booting refugees and other people um, as you guys kind of clean this
Good.
place up.
I'm gonna say a prayer before, during, and after.
You go ahead, you gain 150 experience points as you do what you can for these poor souls in the poor state of affairs that the city has found itself in.
Cool. And afterwards, I'll bring Tia to Mavenestra. I'll pay for her clothing, however much that is, and I'll ask her if she can put her to work, sewing and mending.
She looks at the girl and she's, "Oof, you keep bringing in these skinny ones. I don't know what to do with her." "Oh, well, we're gonna have to
Well,
put
she's
some."
young and she's got will. I'll pay for her food if you want.
"You'll have to. We need to put some meat on her bones." She goes and gets her some milk and cheese and nuts, things that are high in calories. Uh, and she starts feeding the girl, getting her water and taking care. Her feet are in rough shape. She tends to them, but she's, "I'll take her off your hands. We'll put her to good work. Uh, don't you worry. This place is getting filled up quick." I think you guys need to secure some shelter yourself. We do have a couple of plots here, but we're running out of room.
Yeah, we've been using the kindness of everyone around us, but we should probably find some permanent installation here. You're
Yeah.
right.
I like you
I'll have
guys,
to
but
go talk with Bast and see what he thinks.
as you say that, he arrives in camp. Um,
Bast, why are you walking like that?
Like what?
I don't know. You look like did you hurt your groin or something?
No. Kind of wish I did, but no.
I've been wondering why you walking so funny. Uh, Jefferson Anders says, this old man. This old man looks like Yosemite Sam, basically. He's got like the prospector's hat and the big mustache. Uh, but he's got a winter cloak and he's chugging the whiskey like no one's business.
Liam, I did remember that gentleman I had spoke with you about before we left camp. Meet Jefferson Anders. If we can, he'd like to have a conversation with Greta, Kaga, and Tios.
Tosi.
Or Tosi. Other way around. Tosi.
Yeah,
And
he's the one who wanted to establish trade, eh?
And as you say that, Greta comes back from the market, coming in with her coin purse, very fat.
Oh! Greta!
Yeah.
Come here, please. I want you to meet somebody.
Okay. She'll walk over.
Greta, this is Jefferson Anders. He's been attempting to establish trade with the Mammoth clan for quite a while, as far as I understand, and I think you guys might have a lot in common. Jefferson, this is Greta. Never did get your last name.
Great. I don't remember what her last name was.
Make it up.
No, I gotta make a last name. Damn.
I don't know if you ever said it. He's just that's us. Yeah. Again,
I don't think
dumb-
she ever gave it
dumb-
to you guys.
Dumb kid. So, but
Child.
we met her in the camp with. Anyway, she's the one I wanted you to talk to, Jefferson.
Well, being. He looks you up and down. He's like, she's built like one of them. She don't look like one of them. You a half-breed?
Half-breed?
Yeah.
I'm from Thalwind, if that's what you mean.
You look like you got a little Western blood in you, is all I'm saying. No disrespect. I apologize.
No, I've always been in the north.
Okay. You begin to wonder why he's not been successful in setting up trade
Yeah.
before. This old
Okay.
drunk. Well, he's like, all right, well, my name's Jefferson Anders. Pleased to meet you. I'm a trapper, and I'm a hunter, and I'm a skinner. And I'd like to set up some trade with your people. And I know you guys always could use some furs, and I'd pay you handsomely if that's the case. Whatever you need, I can get it. I got connections.
Connections with who?
Oh, you name it. The Pioneers Outpost. I'm one of the board members there. I can basically source whatever you need, from supplies, building materials, raw resources. You know, pretty much anything you all need. I know it's hard out there in the wilderness, but we got some things like oil and tallow and grease and you name it. Steel. I can get some steel. Not much, but
You know we don't have a lot of coin out there, right? What is it you want us to trade?
skins. You got skins, mammoth, ivory. You guys have plenty that I want. Trust me.
Well, you're in luck. Assuming we make it back to the capital to let Zarina know we have her sister, she's willing to set up trade. But we have to make it there and back.
Well, damn. So you're not the head honcho. He looks over to Boss and he's like, I thought we had a deal here. You said that you had someone who can set this up.
We did.
Oh, I'm going to
We
set
did.
it up.
The deal was that you had somebody from the clan to meet with. That's what you had told me. She's from the Mammoth clan.
And this arrangement is greenlit. But we just have to make it to the right people to tell them it's greenlit.
He strokes his mustaches. Just, takes another swig of his whiskey. All right. Seems legit enough. Kaga and Tosi show up and he sees the other two. Okay.
I tap him on the shoulder. Look over her right shoulder. The warg I was telling you about.
He sees it and he's like, huh. Well, I'll be damned. As he says that, Lars shows up. Big old grin on his face. And he says,
Walking a little bow-legged.
little bow-legged. And he's like, boss, you son of a bitch. You get your dick wet. Whoa. Hey, Greta. Jefferson Anders. Well, you old son of a bitch. How you been? Lars comes up. Jefferson Anders recognizes Lars. Lars is a known kind of what do they call him? God damn it. Like a tracker and a wilderness guide, and they know each other. And he's like, "It's been a long time. And this is what's going on here?" And he looks to you, Bast.
A little meetup.
Okay.
Jefferson had a little conversation with me before we left about hopefully setting up some trade with the Mammoth clan, so since we had to head out there anyway, figured might as well try and set some of that up if I could.
You old son of a bitch. You know I've been trying to set that up myself for years now. All right. I mean, they are legit. I'll tell you that. They are part of the Mammoth clan. But I'm getting my skins first, you hear me? But we got to get there. I can vouch for them. They're legit. Jefferson's all right. All right. Look, if you guys need to get there, I can help you out. I'm too old. I'm not going to travel, but I can help fund it. But if you set this up, if you fuck me, I promise you I will kill you all. If it's not me, it's someone else. Okay. If you guys are heading out there, we can make a deal. So let me know what supplies you need, and I can set up the expedition. I'll fund the whole thing. But I do expect some results. Whenever you guys are ready, let me know, and I'll get back with you. Bast, I ain't paying for nothing until you guys get that set up. But I will be willing to front the expedition. It's the best I can do.
I mean, if you're not going to hold to your word that all you wanted to do was have somebody from the clan meet, I guess, but...
That's not the word I remember. What you told me is you got a couple people who might be able to do something, maybe, if you survive travel through the wilderness.
Well, just so you realize, this one's the head honcho's sister.
Who approve as long as we get her to her.
That's a big if, sister. He takes another swig of his whiskey, now visibly drunk. He's like, look, expeditions aren't cheap. I'll get you what you need, and you can consider that payment, but I can't give you coin on top of it.
I'll accept that.
All right. I'll get you guys geared up.
Greta,
Tell me what you need.
Roughly, how far are we from capital?
Let's go
Great
to the map.
question.
I believe it's 3 weeks.
I that was roughly what was in my head, but
We are 21 hexes. This is a very long journey.
yeah.
If we're going by rules.
I mean, we know it was already. We were gone. We were gone. What? Just over 2.5 weeks. Just for what we did.
Yep.
All right. We know this is going to be a trip. We're going to need food. Maybe a little better clothing. Greta, what kind of wildlife are we gonna meet out here? I mean, I know we've already seen. Obviously, there could be wolves, wargs,
There's
mammoths.
gonna be wolves, wargs. We hunt saber tooth. The occasional rogue mammoth.
Beastmen. There's all kinds of stuff. Brigands, tons of brigands. There's marauders, crosswalkers, marauders.
And we already know that the Crusaders are heading.
Crusaders are in there. Yeah.
So I mean, what is it?
There's
that you
trolls. There's giants. There's
Yeah.
all kinds of shit.
So, Jefferson, you're saying you're gonna fund this expedition? I mean, we're gonna need a couple of wagons. At least in my estimation, a couple of wagons, beasts of burden to pull it. We're gonna need food for what, a month for the entire journey? Minimum a
And we
month?
want some chocolate.
Some what? I mean, there's no chocolate up here. That's from my hometown. That's
Wait,
shit's
you're
expensive.
Southern? She just
Look
wants to
at
stop
my
talking and just like
coloring.
start watching him. Like,
look at my
Hmm.
coloring. Yes, I'm from the South, sweetheart.
She's completely checked out now. She's just like mesmerized.
You're not as cool as fucking Abdul. We'll say that.
Nope, not nowhere close.
Where's your leopard?
Jefferson Anders, he takes off his big old prospector hat to reveal a bald head. And he's like, all right, this sounds like an expensive endeavor. Tell me what you need. I'm going to go back. I need some more whiskey. He chucks an empty bottle into the snow. This is going to take me a little while, probably a week, maybe more, to get the thing situated. Kaga also says, we also have to wait for Atka. God knows how much time he needs to recover. But I want him, he has to come back.
That's part of the wagon. If we can keep him enclosed, safe, that's part of that expedition. That's part of getting you guys home.
All right. With that said,
are they sending any goods to trade like right away?
Yeah, he's going to send. That's going to be part of the expedition.
Okay.
You guys will also carry some stuff there, and that will ensure the trade agreement. He's got the stuff. He's going to trade. At some point, you guys have to come back with it, and then it's locked in. As you guys kind of talk about the specifics, standing there in the center of camp, you see to the eastern side Ario Vistus. He walks out of Quintus Varus's tent, and he looks grim. Quintus follows behind him. He takes off his smock, which is covered in blood, tosses it into a heap outside his tent, and he looks over to the crew and nods. It's not a solemn nod. It's a good sign. And then they walk towards the rest of you. Quintus, he smiles as he puts on his spectacles, slicks his hair back. So good news is that he will live. He's stronger than he looks. His legs are broken in multiple places. He may never ride again. I had to drain blood from both legs. He had some internal bleeding as well. It's going to be at least 2 weeks, but he should be able to travel after 2 weeks. He may not be able to use his legs ever again. Tosi immediately bursts out in tears. And Kaga, she fights against it. She's got the one tear rolling down, the thug tear. And Tosi's like, he might as well die. To take a ward rider's legs from him, that's his honor. That's everything. And she just laments the news. Kaga says, at least he's alive. He'll pull through. If there's anyone who can pull through, it is Atka. And Quintus Varus says, it may be beyond any human means, but I will pray for him. May the Shattered One guide him to health and safety. Ario Vistus, he stands there like a sentinel, silent, not saying anything. And after a while, after the crying and everything else kind of fades, his booming voice reaches out. He says, welcome back. It seems that you were successful. I'm hoping.
We were.
Tell me everything.
We reached the hunting camp. We had a conversation with Zarina. we convinced them to head to their, Greta, help me out, main city?
Capital?
Thank
Bolad?
you. To their capital. She requested that we find the hunting party that was west. Which we did, which is where the tragedy. And he looks over to Korga and Tosi as he says it. It was a avalanche of some sort that took one's life and took Gekka's legs. We did what we could, and then this was the closest place we could think to bring him back to.
You've done well. I'm afraid there is war brewing. I'm sure you've seen the camp lately. It's a fucking mess, to be honest. There may be still some hope, but Kieran of Hightower, was it Hightower? What the fuck is this guy's name? Kieran of Highcliff. Kieran of Highcliff is dangerous. He's a shard bearer, and even though there's only 100 men, they are extremely dangerous. And Bolad may be able to deal with their siege, but from what I understand, in Thalwind, there's another army that may approach, and I don't know exactly what they're here for. That's the next step. We need to figure out what their intentions are. But you've done well, and I owe you at least this. And he reaches into his pocket, and he pulls out a medallion. It's on a gold chain, and it bears the signet of his house. It's like, here, this should pay for your troubles. Get yourself something to keep you safe. And he hands over the medallion, which is worth about 2,500 gold, or not gold pieces, copper pieces. That'd be insane.
Wow. Okay.
It says, that's the next step. I hear that you're setting an expedition up to Bolad. I wish you good luck. I do not have the resources to send. Tuya will be staying here, but I wish you Godspeed. And if you can get news back to us, we're happy to help in the endeavor. But I feel like we may need to get the clans to work together. And he looks over to you, Greta, and Kaga, and the rest of the Mammoth clan. I know that's a tall ask. I think we have to unite against this threat. And what you would know, Greta, the Falcon clan, the Wolf clan, the Owl clan, and the Mammoth clan, they don't really get along with each other. Your bitter rivals are the Wolf clan, the Falcon clan you don't generally like, and the Owl clan, they're basically walled up and isolated from everybody. They don't talk to anyone. But there is no confederation between the clans. You guys do your own thing. There are territory disputes, border disputes among each other, but usually bad blood. And he's like, I don't know if it's something we have to get these guys together to do, but separate, you will surely die against the armies of the West. I have seen what they've done. They've conquered anywhere they step on. Just be careful. And I'll do what I can here.
Lean
with
over
that-
into Liam's ear and just, well, thankfully we got somebody to pay for this expedition already. Because we got to do something.
Yeah, I fear that maybe it won't be enough. What these people come here to get, nobody understands, but they'll bring nothing but destruction. They want one thing and one thing only, and it's shards. And they'll kill everyone in their way to get them.
But we got to
And
get
what-
as many people out of that damage zone as we can.
Yes. Uniting the clans, a grand idea. It would be wonderful. It's a dream.
Maybe a pipe dream.
Mhm.
And with that, we're going to end the session on that note. Thanks for everybody who is watching and supporting us. I appreciate you all. The next episode may not be next month, it may be the month after. But this was Dithra, the Wild North, and we'll catch you next time.